Hi guys, this is Maverick Pua, the chemistry guru. Now in this video, we want to discuss the suggested solution for 2019 A-Levels H2 Chemistry, Paper 1, Question 22. Alright, Question 22, compound Q is heated under reflux with an excess of acidified potassium dichromate. Obviously, this is an oxidizing agent, right? So we have this compound Q, and let us consider the function groups present. If I notice they are all OH groups, but there are different types of alcohol. So this guy that we have here, it is a CH2OH. So this is a primary alcohol. This carbon that we have here, this OH is attached to a carbon which is attached to two other carbon. So this is a secondary carbon and this is a secondary alcohol. So this is a secondary alcohol. And finally, if I consider this OH group, this carbon, it is attached to three other carbon. So therefore this carbon, it is a tertiary carbon, and this OH group, it is a tertiary alcohol. So you notice this question is testing us on the oxidation of alcohols, and the condition is I have excess acidified potassium dichromate heating under reflux. So it is just testing us on whether do we know for the different alcohols, when I oxidize this under reflux, then what will the product be? So let's run through this part by part. So the first one involving primary alcohol. Now primary alcohol by right can be oxidized to aldehyde and then subsequently oxidized to acid functional group. But since we are heating under reflux with an excess of acidified potassium dichromate, then we will not get the aldehyde functional group. This guy will be oxidized all the way to carboxylic acid. So maybe let me write this down here first. This will be oxidized all the way to acid functional group. Now, how do we oxidize a primary alcohol to aldehyde? Because aldehyde can be further oxidized, so therefore we have to do some form of protection or a way for me to control the oxidation involving the aldehyde so that it doesn't get further oxidized. So if I want to oxidize primary alcohol to aldehyde, then the reagent will still be potassium dichromate. The condition is I have to heat under reflux, but with immediate distillation. So the distillation will remove the aldehyde when it is being formed so that this aldehyde will not get further oxidized to carboxylic acid. So this is for my primary alcohol. Now how about my secondary alcohol? Secondary alcohol on oxidation, this will be oxidized to a ketone. So this is pretty straightforward. I can just write this here. This will be oxidized to a ketone. Then finally, when I consider tertiary alcohols cannot be oxidized, because in order for oxidation, the carbon that carries the OH group, it must have a hydrogen to be lost, then it can be oxidized. So my tertiary carbon doesn't have any hydrogen, so therefore it cannot be oxidized. Tertiary alcohol is resistant to oxidation. So more or less we can figure out the product. Then let's run through options A, B, C, D, and we see which one is our answer. So if I consider the functional group involving the primary alcohol has to be oxidized to acid. So we look out for acid function groups, and the product that doesn't have acid functional group, we will rule them out. So for A, this is an aldehyde, which is wrong because we've mentioned that it should be oxidized all the way to acid. If we are doing distillation, then this guy is possible, but we're not doing distillation here. So the aldehyde should be oxidized all the way to acid. So this is out. Now B, this acid group, it is there, so this is possible. C, the acid is here. D, the acid is also here. So we can rule out compound A. Now how about the secondary alcohol? We know that the secondary alcohol will be oxidized to a ketone. Now I have a ketone here, but remember we have already eliminated option A because this portion here is already wrong, right? So we can ignore A. So maybe I put a cross here, then later we can ignore this guy. Now for B, this is wrong because if it is a secondary alcohol, it should be able to be oxidized to ketone. So this guy is out. Then B is also eliminated. Then C, okay, this is possible. Then D, this is also possible. Now how about the last guy, tertiary alcohol? Now remember, tertiary alcohol is resistant to oxidation, so it shouldn't be changed, right? It will just stay as a tertiary alcohol. So if I run through the options, C is reasonable. The tertiary alcohol is still there. Now D, this guy is wrong because it is not possible for me to oxidize the tertiary alcohol to an acid group, And you notice even the way the carbons are arranged, it is wrong, because suddenly this OH group is gone. Then I'm converting this carbon here, which is supposed to be an alkane. I convert this to an acid group. So D is definitely wrong. Because of this portion, we should leave the tertiary alcohol as it is. So we know that option D is also out. Of course, looking at my options A, B, C, D, we have already determined by elimination that the answer to this question would be option C. Alright, so that was the discussion involving question 22. Question 22 is pretty straightforward because it just focuses on the oxidation of primary alcohol, secondary alcohol, and tertiary alcohols. So if you have learned something useful from this video, please give me the thumbs up, like this video, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more weekly video lessons. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.